Students, in today's commerce class, we are going to see Unit 2 Financial Markets under the Chapter 5 Capital Market, New Financial Institutions. So, what do you mean by financial institutions? You are aware of, children. Financial institutions are the institutions which meet the credit requirements of various segments of the industry. When I say various segments of the industry means, in industry there will be individuals, corporate sectors and any other persons who are in need of financial help. So, who are all the financial institutions? Let us see one by one. Venture fund institutions, mutual fund institutions, factoring institutions, over the counter exchange of India, National Stock Exchange of India Limited, National Clearance and Depository System, National Securities Depositories Limited, Stock Holding Corporation of India Limited. Now let us see this each and every institutions and individually and their nature of work. First institution, venture fund institution. So what does this venture fund institution do? Means this institution is specially designed to fund new and innovative project ideas. That means if anybody wanted to start a business and if that business people is having an innovative ideas that is new, it must be new and the project must be very much innovative, and such business people can approach this venture fund institutions for financial help. Now, who all are the institutions which provide for such type of business? Means Industrial Finance Corporation of India, Industrial Development Bank of India, Small Scale Industrial Development Bank of India, Technology Development and Infrastructure Corporations of Limited. So these are some of the other institutions that help for venture fund institutions. You have other institutions also who are very much famous organizations like L&T, that is Lazar and Tubro, Lanco, Grammon, JP. So these are all another few examples of venture fund institutions. Next you see, children, mutual funds. So what is this mutual fund and how does this mutual fund works? Mutual fund, it channelizes the savings of the small investors into productive investments. So that is why they are called as mutual fund. So small investors, if at all they wanted to purchase the shares, they may not have enough money to purchase the shares, isn't it not? In that case, they can pool their financial resources in any one financial institutions which have this scheme, that is mutual fund scheme, and then when they get sufficient amount which is enough and more to buy the share, then the bank itself on behalf of the person who is a member of mutual fund will help to invest in such large companies, and this person also can become the shareholder of large companies. So mutual fund investment will enable anybody to become the shareholders of large funds. So let me tell you some of the institutions who are following the schemes. So LIC, Unit Trust of India, State Bank of India, Canara Bank. So all these institutions have mutual fund schemes. Next you see factoring institutions. So what is this factoring institutions? Factoring institution is another type of institution, okay, through which financial helps can be extended. Now what does factoring institutions do? They act as a factoring agent. So factoring agent mean to whom they act as a factoring agent, mean to a company. This is nothing but an agent business relationship only. Now for example, the chart will clearly explain to you, children, that is what the factor does. The factor buys the accounts receivables from the company. You got me, students? From the company it receives accounts receivables. That means what? That means for a company, if it sells for credit sales, it will have book debts, isn't it not? Now what this agent will do, it will buy all the invoices from the company. When it buys the invoices, it pays 80% of the invoice value to the company. Now the company is getting source. Okay students, so remaining 20% only this factor has to pay to them. Okay, now when this factor will pay this 20% mean when the final settlement is made by the debtor. Now the invoice is with whom? It is with the factor. Now the debtor of the company to whom credit sales is made, he has to settle the amount to whom? To the factor and not to the company. You got me students? So the factor pays 80% in advance to the company and keep remaining 20% as his commissions or for a discount basis. So this is the process. Okay students, so the company get immediate cash, the factor is getting commission, and he will collect the book debts from the debtors. The debtor has to settle the amount of the bill not to the company but to the factor. You understand children? Okay. So next you see over the counter exchange of India. So this is another institution. When I say this over the counter exchange of India, it is a premier financial institutions. So this institution helps for online trading of buying and selling of securities. And not only that, it addresses certain specific problems between the investors and the medium-sized companies. You got my students? So purchases need not be done by going to the stock exchange, but it can be done through online trading only. Okay, so the main advantage what we get from this OTCEI is transparency in dealing. That means the people who that means the investors, okay, they get a clear and transparent details about the shares or the securities when they deal with that. And at the same time they find liquidity in the shares when they do the transactions through online. So there is quick settlement. Okay, then appraisal of sponsors mean so many people will come to sell their shares in the online process. You got me students? So like that, not only that, it is easily accessible. Easily accessible means you can there is the transactions or the procedure of doing online trading is very easy and quick also. You got me students? So likewise there are many benefits in this over the counter exchange of India. Okay students, so now 4 points we have read. You got me students? The next 4 points in the continuing video. Okay.